Hi, my name's Craig, and this is my little girl, Bailey. And many people have asked me over the years to do a video on health, faith, and now cancer. And I love helping others, and I want everybody to be happy and healthy. As a child, I was sick a lot, in and out of the hospital, with asthma, migraines, allergic to everything there was to be allergic to. And at age 15, I was never so sick, 105 temperature, emergency was called. I never felt so blissful, bright white light, the image of what I believe to be Jesus, saying it's time to go. And I'll be talking about that and more, and it was life-changing. And from that time forward, I said no more, I'm not going to accept health problems. And I started to focus on faith, health, diet, gratitude, and appreciation, more than I ever had before. And today at age 57, even though I usually don't say my age, I usually say 29 because that's how I feel. But I've been in the best shape of my life. I can bike, run, swim farther than I could in my teens and 20s. I can still throw the football further than most people half my age. And you know, anybody can do what I've done, just changing your focus and honoring your temple. I mean, it's never too late. And so many close calls in my lifetime that I shouldn't even be here. And I'll be talking about that. People are really surprised everything I've been through. And I believe we're here until our purpose is done. And my dad taught me a great lesson. He was in the hospital and he saw a man die of lung cancer next to him, in a bed next to him, in so much pain. And my dad was a 2-pack-a-day smoker. He went from thinking about smoking as pleasure to painful. And he quit smoking like that in a minute. He never smoked again a day in his life. He couldn't stand to be around smokers from that point forward. And this taught me you could change anything in a minute through focus. And I mean, that includes health, depression, anxiety. Just focusing on faith, gratitude, and appreciation could change all that. So, and I'll probably be redoing this video, just getting ready to leave for a vacation, and I told several people that I would get this out before I left, and I like to keep my word. So let's get started, and let's give Bailey a treat. Come on, girl. Let's give you a treat. Such a beautiful day. I thought I'd continue this outside. Before I get into health, cancer, some of the close calls I've had, I'd like to talk a little about faith. And to continue on with what I was talking about when I was 15 years old, and never so sick, so blissful, a white bright light, an image of what I believe to be Jesus, saying it's time to go. And I said, I'm not ready to go. I have to take care of my mom and dad. And my mom and dad were always older than everybody else's mom and dad. My mom had health issues, so I kind of figured I would be taking care of my mom and dad as they got older. Anyway, there was a pause, and I was told it's not your time. And I got better like that. My mom and I, we couldn't believe it. It was truly amazing. It was a miracle. And looking back, it's kind of funny now, but I didn't tell a lot of people about that. I think I wanted people to think I was crazy. And now, and for so many years I can't remember, it really doesn't matter what people think. It's not important. What matters is integrity and honesty. That's all that matters. And it was not long ago when I was flicking through the TV stations and I saw people that had died in the hospital, and they came back. They were brought back, and they were told the exact same thing I was. It's not your time. And I kept my word. I helped my mom take care of my dad with dementia for almost 6 years. Many years later, my mom, I took care of her with dementia for 6 years. It was 4 years intensively. I took care of her. She didn't walk or talk. Turned her every 2 hours, hand fed her, catheter, you name it, and I did it. And like the Bible says, honor thy father and mother. And it was an honor. It was truly the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And you know, I had a wonderful father, and I had the best mom ever. You know, taking care of my mom, you know, my life didn't stop. It just, it got harder, and I almost got no sleep for all those years. And I have a condo in Daytona. I was president of the association for 5 years, and I mean, I haven't put my mom in the car along with my dog, my longtime sweetheart Laura sometimes, and we'd go to Daytona or wherever, camping. And I ran the annual association meeting in Florida with my mom in a wheelchair propped up in pillows, and I took care of her while I was running the meeting. And looking back, it was a lot, but it was just, it's almost like a robot at times. Didn't really think about it until after. But it was a roller coaster, you know, with my mom. She was doing pretty good before all this happened, and we were in Daytona with Laura, and we liked to go to the ocean deck to dance. My mom loved to dance, and she would get people up starting conga lines, and she'd pull people up that never danced before. She'd pull them up on the stage and get them dancing. We got everybody dancing. And she even got to sing with the band Orange Avenue, which was a great local band at the time. And I'll never forget, the singer said, "This is the Energizer Bunny," and my mom really was. And so many times we closed the bar. We had so much fun. I've got so many pictures and videos. And then we came back to Michigan, had to take her to the hospital. So many mistakes were made at the hospital she was at. I rushed her to U of M. They saved her life, but by then the toll was taken. And towards the end of my mom's life, when she was going to be 93 years old, I took her to St. Joe's Hospital, and that was a great hospital also. And the head doctor asked me who was taking care of my mom. He was blown away when I told him it was me. He says, "She looked great, and with all her health issues, she should have been dead years ago." And he said he was putting a picture of me and my mom up at that hospital, and I was so touched. Just to get back, just to talk about some of the close calls I've had. And I believe we're here until our purpose is done. Approximately 20 years ago, or approximately when I was 20, I was in my mom's Ford Zephyr, and she loved that car. I felt so bad. I was waiting at the light, and I got hit by a drunk driver. It was a brand new Cadillac, and he pushed us both through the intersection, and it was rush hour. I don't know how we got through that intersection, but I only ended up with whiplash. The seat I was in, you can see that or not, the seat I was in broke, and I laid in the back seat. And this guy, it was .2 something. He couldn't even talk or walk. And one of the witnesses that stopped after that said that he passed him going at least 50 miles an hour. Another witness said he saw him pass out before he hit me. And so he didn't even see me. And things have changed a lot over the years. He received 200 hours community service, and he got probation. Approximately 30 years ago, after I just bought this house, my dog Sam, in the wintertime, chased a swan out on the lake and fell in the lake through the ice. And I went out to get her, and I fell in probably about 30 feet before I got to her, and I had to break the ice to get to her. I turned her around, and she swam as far as she could, and I did too, from the ice that I had broken up. And I got her out, and I got myself out. And we probably shouldn't have got out that day. It was 0, and there was nobody out there that day. I'll never forget, actually I wasn't cold until I got out. And now I like the cold, but back then I didn't. But I got out, and my dog Sam, she shook, and she looked like a porcupine. She looked pretty awesome. And I probably did too. I had a lot more hair at that time. And then after that, in my 30s, I was biking with an ex down a road, pretty good sized hill. And all of a sudden I thought it was a really good idea to grab the steering wheel and go down together. And well, that was a terrible idea. I was going at least 45 miles an hour the last I checked. She jerked the wheel to the right. I didn't have a helmet on that day. And over the handlebars, I tucked and rolled, and I landed on my feet. And it was something that I was thinking at the time that I learned in college. It was my college karate class, to tuck and roll. Anyway, I just had scratches on my legs, and the people that stopped and they saw it, they said I must be doing something right because I should have broke my neck, and they're probably right. You know, in my 20s, I would come here water skiing with good friends from high school, John, Rob, and Colin. And a lot of times we would video ourselves water skiing. I just found it here lately. And I was getting out of the water on a slalom ski. And this young kid, probably 12 years old, he didn't see the boat and didn't see me. And full blast right into me. And I walked away from that and I didn't get hurt. Probably should have. One of the stupidest things I've ever done. And I've done some stupid things. But I've always been responsible. And approximately 18 years ago, after my dad passed away, I had a little more to drink. I think I was trying to forget about the pain of losing my dad. And Laura, Don, and a friend Diana, we were here and we decided to go to a local bar called Memories. And we took this dirt road, which I had only taken once before. And I was going too fast. And of all songs, I was singing Wild Side, Motley Crue to the radio. And I high-fived Don to the back. I missed his sharp arrow to the left, and which meant that the road stopped. Well, I couldn't stop in time. Between two big trees, we launched about 30 feet, and we dropped down 6 to 8 feet, and made like a S shape, right back on the road without missing a beat. Don said, "Oh my gosh, we almost just died." I had to be a nervous laugh, but I said, "No, I take this way all the time, it's a shortcut." And he said, "Really? Let's do that again." Well, I told him what happened, and we didn't do that again, but Laura and I came back the next day, and we looked. We couldn't believe we got through those two big trees. We didn't feel the drop down. It was like somebody set us down. You could barely see the tire tracks on the grass. It was amazing. Approximately 11 years ago, coming back from Daytona, going through Georgia, no snow on the ground, almost to Tennessee, and I had a feeling to take my foot off the gas. I was going about 75 miles an hour. And right when I did that, the wind got us, spun us around a truck, spun us around a car next to the guardrail without a scratch, and kept right on going. And Laura held her heart and she said, "Oh my gosh, I think I'm dying." And I said, "I think I need to get into race car driving." But you know, I knew it couldn't have just been me. What happened? Laura and I saw a tornado form. We got pictures of that too, right in front of us, and come down not too far from where we were at. That was pretty amazing. Approximately 8 years ago, on my mom's birthday, January 29th, and it was dark, it was 5 o'clock, and I was singing her happy birthday with a gift and flowers, and this angel that I have here. And singing happy birthday, and I was missing my dad, I was feeling a little down. All of a sudden I felt so blissful. Not quite like when I was 15, but pretty blissful. Right at that moment, only for a couple minutes, the sun came through this little tiny window in the kitchen, and it went in the dining room, and it only hit the angel. And I was taking pictures at the time. You see the angel's glowing. The whole room sparkled. It was incredible. And here's another picture of the angel. Approximately 5-6 years ago, Bailey, when she lost use of her back legs, and Laura and I were rushing her to the hospital, going down a 2-lane road at about 45-50 miles an hour. I remember seeing the guy, this guy in a truck, kind of swerving. And as he got closer, I could see he was texting. And he was looking down. He swerved right in front of us, didn't see us at all. And I never turned the wheel so sharp on 2 wheels. And Laura said, "This is it, we're going to die." But it had to be just an inch, no more than an inch between us. We got right back on the road and kept right on going. And if I didn't have to rush Bailey to the hospital, I would have went after him, because he could have killed us. You know, just thinking about it, you know, Laura should probably have some kind of insurance. It's pretty dangerous to be with me. I mean, she's incredible. Just after that, I was jumped in Detroit. I blocked his punch, and I threw across, knocked him back. He ran to his truck, and he got these binoculars and threw them at me. I heard from someone after that knew him, that he was going to get his gun. He never forgot his gun, except for that one day. I mean, it was truly a blessing. And even though I tore my left rotator cuff in so much pain for well over a year and almost no strength in it, and I tore my right one just after I tore this one, putting my mom into our RV. And so, you know, I carried my mom and my dog for almost a year and a half before I got my strength back and the pain went away. And but that could have been so much worse with what happened. And they say the Lord never gives you more than what you can handle. Well, I said uncle, and it was getting close. So many times being cut off the expressway with people texting. Bailey and I just barely get out of the way of a guy in a truck, another guy in a truck, texting, and made a legal left-hand turn right in front of us. Didn't see us at all. We barely dove out of the way. And I wasn't raised religious. My mom believed, and she taught me to pray when I was young. We probably went to church a handful of times over the years when I was little. My dad, I'm not sure, he didn't really talk about it. I think he believed. But with everything that's happened to me in my lifetime, I'd have to be an idiot not to believe in faith in the Lord. Sorry, the battery in my camera died. I think I'm ready for a new camera. And on top of that, the squirrels are throwing acorns at me. You know, I see my health issues growing up as a blessing. I probably would not have appreciated my health as much as I do over the years. And even taking care of my mom and Bailey, that was truly a blessing. I'm blown away by how many people over the years, they know more about their medication, their health problems, than they do about how to get better and how to get off their medication. I've been equally as blown away by people telling me they have no time to take care of themselves. Excuses, how people lie to themselves, and how offended they are when I say, oh, so you lied to yourself. But and the truth is, all appointments are canceled when we die. And there's nothing more important than our health and helping others. And I believe, you know, everything happens for a reason and we need to learn from it, including me doing this video, anybody that might be watching. And I heard not long ago that the average person lies 8 times a day, which I can't believe that. It sounds outrageous, but once is way too much. But if that counts people lying to themselves about why we can't do something, or I can see like a white lie if somebody asks, do I look fat in these clothes? And I know being on the board in Florida for all those years, boy was I lied to, especially when it came to handling the association's money. I had to clean house over and over. It was an ongoing battle. But sometimes we're given a second chance with our health. And if we don't change our habits, what we had will come right back, and even with more issues. And I have read as much as 20% is hereditary and as little as 5%. I'm leaning closer to the 5%. And I know thoughts alone can create health issues. And I know firsthand while taking care of my mom, I lost my focus. It got a little clouded for almost 30 days. And I thought I was dying. I focused on how hard my life was. And with not getting sleep for years, that didn't help either. And I didn't take care of myself like I should have while I was taking care of her. I was dizzy, I couldn't eat, my stomach felt like it was on fire. And the hospital put a scope down my stomach to rule out stomach cancer. And I always knew that negative thoughts create acid in your body and go to the weakest part. I never had stomach issues, but I was told I'd have to be on antacids for the rest of my life. And I was on it 2 to 3 weeks, and I don't like to take anything. And I got off that, and I haven't had a problem since. I'm very sorry for anyone that's going through a health issue or cancer. You know the Lord has the final say, not the doctors. And a great friend of mine, and he's not just a friend, he's family, Bob Bedard. He has a great book for getting your focus back in happiness. We've been friends for over 30 years. I sold one of his houses 30 years ago. I'm a real estate broker, by the way. He changed his whole life through what he teaches. And he's been on TV and the news quite a bit, talk shows, even sang the national anthem at Tiger Stadium for years. He teaches classes. He's incredible. And I have his book, How to Be a Happier Person Now. And his website is ihthappiness.com. And he was there over the years. He knew firsthand some of the things that have happened to me and when they happened. Dr. Joe Dispenza has some great stuff. Talks about if you wake up in the morning, you're depressed, you're already living in the past. It's learned. It can be unlearned. Talks about you have to become a different person with no ego. You know it's important to live in the present. Anxiety is just the fear of the future. There's no guarantees of tomorrow. We must live each day as if it's our last. And a shout out to a friend, Erica, one of many who said I should do this video. She has many motorcycle riding videos and meets and more. She's at eHart, H-A-R-T 34. And to my sweetheart Laura, for hanging in there for all those years. So I took care of my mom 24/7. I had to take my mom with us everywhere we went. And I'm sure there's people that might not believe some of the things that I've been through, and there's more. But Laura and Bob, you know, knew firsthand and were there a lot of those times. So, and they're the most honest people I've ever known, and along with my mom. I like to release balloons, along with prayers, for loved ones that passed on holidays, birthdays, etc., and current people going through things. I pray that all watching have a long, happy, healthy life. Good luck, and God bless.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. You guys are on video. Wave, Mom. Last day in Daytona. Bailey, what a ham. Love you too, Mom. Another little video. To Bailey, she wants to shake. Bailey. Do you love your mom, Bailey?